desire.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of More Than a Woman. I'm Shamila.
I'm Keely.
And I'm Abby.
Okay, so today's episode is going to be based on the stereotype of an angry black woman. So I'm going to start off with the definition, which is the myth of the angry black woman is characterised as aggressive, ill-tempered, illogical, overbearing, hostile and ignorant without provocation. So, first question I'm going to start with, ladies, is why do other black women refer to other black women as being angry?
Do you know what? There's something that I actually hate. Like, it really pees me off to hear another black woman call another black woman an angry black woman.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody's supposed to be more understanding and how demeaning that is, it's supposed to be your own, not only just your own people, but obviously as a woman as well on top of it, you're supposed to have more of an understanding of that terminology. And I've actually had that done to me. I've actually had that done to me, and I was just like, hang on.
I've had that as well, but I don't understand why either, because have they never been considered an angry black woman?
The thing is,
they
the person who called it me was supposed to be a community leader. So, you're a leader of the community, you're calling me an angry black woman, not to my face either, by the way, but they called me and said that I look like an angry black woman, but you should know more than anybody that I was actually upset. I was in my feelings. I wasn't even angry. I was upset and in my feelings about something. So why couldn't I have been frustrated? Why couldn't I have been upset? Why couldn't I have felt embarrassed? Why are you stereotyping me as an angry black woman, especially as a black community leader? On top of it, then you're helping institutionalize us as a people and carrying out what institutionalized racism was supposed to do in the first place. So yeah, you know who you are too.
What about you, Abby?
Babe. I have been. Well, I just asked the question because I question things like this, and like why? Because I've only had it done by a fair few, and to me, it's because I don't know. I feel like they're more in tune with the opposite side. I don't know how to put it without sounding like I'm being racist, but I feel like they're taking on that persona of
but it's got so ridiculous now.
Because it's usually someone who's either been a team leader or my supervisor, so I feel like they're trying to act up or put on this show.
I feel like I forgot even what I was gonna say. Sorry. But I feel like I forgot.
No, I feel like sometimes when other black women refer to other black women as the angry black woman is because they're, they want to dig at you, like make it a competition, and especially in the workplace because, like for example, at my old store that I used to work at, I was always labelled as not always labelled, it was only recently actually, towards the end before I left, but there was this one guy that just used to call me aggressive. And and I'm like, how?
Look how she even said it was so fast.
That's what I mean. I was going to say that. I'm like, you're aggressive.
But you know the thing is,
like you need to talk up to the mic and tell you.
No, but the thing is, like, I'm never really angry or anything, so it's kind of like that doesn't even make sense. Like,
so you know there was a hidden agenda.
Exactly.
For calling you aggressive.
And the worst thing, the only you shouldn't even be calling me aggressive because the only thing is, I get annoyed. So when I get annoyed, or if I'm annoyed at something, I will say how I feel because I don't like holding it in. So when I'll sometimes say on shift like, this is how I feel, I don't like this, I don't like that, all of a sudden, oh, why are you being so aggressive for? And like, they will say it in a certain way and I'm thinking, shut up, do you know what I mean? Because like, I'm not aggressive, but it will just get me annoyed that you're calling me aggressive when I haven't even been aggressive.
I remember my point. I remember my point now before I forget it again. Do you know what the thing is now? It's got to the point of, even if we are angry, so what? Like if we're angry about something, we're so now conscious of being called that angry black woman. We're never allowed to just express that emotion of being angry. Sometimes we can be angry, sometimes we can be aggressive, but that's who we are. Like expressing our emotions as human beings, not not just specifically for black women.
Yeah.
Do you know
Some
what I mean?
people, what you need to see with as well is some people, and even I've even come across some black women like this. They don't know how to handle the aggression, or I shouldn't call it aggression because I'm going into their league now. I mean, they don't know how to handle the passion. They don't understand the culture. So I feel like because they lack knowledge or understanding of how it is, how we behave, they assume straight away you're being aggressive because they're not used to it. Do you know what I mean? Like I stated previously about being amongst family groups. In my family, when we're as a group, you can't get a word in edgeways. We've got 10 conversations going on, but we all know what's going on. But for someone outside looking in, they're going to be like, how do they even know what they're talking about? They sound aggressive, they sound angry. Yeah. But no, that's just how we are. Yeah, everyone's laughing and kicking, you know, but that's just how we are. That's how we talk. We do have 10 conversations going at once, but we can all understand and all relate. But that's just how we are as a culture. So do you think it's down to lack of understanding?
Not
even some black people are like that.
Sometimes it's down to lack of understanding
from our own.
Sometimes it's down to lack of understanding because we all don't come from the same household. Sometimes it's down to lack of understanding, and sometimes it's down to like they're reflecting how they feel as a person. So for example, like they're being aggressive or they're angry. No, you're just feeling intimidated in your space, and that's something that you should work on. Yourself feeling confident. So just because you're not confident, then don't try and label me as being aggressive because you're not comfortable in your space. Yeah. And that's what it is sometimes.
So, on to the next question. Why do you think we have become victims of this negative stereotype?
Well, like I stated before, lack of understanding. I feel like those that are not willing to embrace the culture will never understand the culture. No, we're not all quiet. We're not all sit back and sit down and, you know, hush hush. We're not about that. I feel like, and sometimes, like I said earlier, that's how we express our passion. Sometimes we can come across aggressive, but we're actually happy about something. Exactly, you know what I mean? But the way we're expressing it, for somebody else who's not used to that kind of behaviour, could see it as you're being aggressive, or you know, you're being overbearing. I hate that word, you know, overbearing.
But when they're talking about we're being overbearing, is that because we're no longer
quiet,
under their control as much as they want us to be? That's what it is. So basically, when you want us to do everything that you tell us to do, and then we come and match your level because you don't like being squared up to, we're aggressive because you can't handle it,
or not fitting in with the social norm. Now, to the social norm to this society is, you know, black people are aggressive, black women are very aggressive, you can't speak to them, they don't listen, they're overbearing. So because we're not living up to their negative connotations that they've already embedded in us from slavery day, they're thinking, all right then, you're being rebellious, you're being this, you're being that. So that's the reason why.
I feel like it's because they want to just put us all in a box and just label us as this.
Keely did say that before in the last episode. They put us in a box.
Yeah, so you know, as soon as you see a black woman, why is her face push up for? When you know that may be her face, you know.
Yes, Keely. That's my face. Yes, Keely.
If you know them as a person, then they're fine.
Listen, I'm not advertising gold Colgate toothpaste every minute if people want to walk around skin to
why are you not smiling? Or do you know, like, I'm being told that as well. Why are you not smiling for? What you upset about? What you angry about? I'm like, what? I'm not going to walk down the street like
getting that. I can't see you getting that.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like another thing is we get labelled like the angry black woman if we just express how we feel, and I'm like, how? Like, I'm expressing how I'm feeling, just, you know, talking, and then when I'm, you know, when I raise my voice or something, I'm just all of a sudden aggressive and angry. Like, I feel like we don't get a chance to even let out our emotions. Or
there's no balance. We're either angry or we're angry.
But the thing is, I think, like I was speaking earlier, like sometimes we're allowed to be angry.
Yeah. I think it's because of how we express our anger. Now, come on, we're all guilty of this. Sometimes when we're upset, I wouldn't say angry, because when we're upset, sometimes it can come across as though we are angry, but really we're just emotional about something or passionate about something. And don't you think it's the communication or the way we are that gets misconstrued?
I
Don't
feel
you
like
think that's what it is?
you know when
Keep looking at me like, nah.
Shut
him about. Nah.
I hear what you're saying, and I was like, no.
you know when you talk about communicating, are you on about like other black women or just anyone in
No, I'm
general?
just talking in general, like the way we come across. So when we're communicating, you know, like, okay, then for you, I feel as though if you was to express yourself, it would be very subtle. It'd be softly spoken. You'd be able to tell the difference if you're angry and if you're being subtle.
Yeah.
Whereas with me, sometimes it may come across aggressive, even when I'm happy about something, but because I'm so happy and overbearing, people think, oh gosh, she's a bit nuff.
Yeah, but this is the
She's a
thing
bit
though.
too
Yeah, but
much.
this is the thing though. But then we should be able to be like, oh, Abby, she's just nuff, not she's angry.
But you know what I think is as well. I'm gonna link it because I feel like this is important. There's a lot of, well, I shouldn't even say a lot. I don't know, but there's some black men that even label us as angry black women.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Yeah,
I've had that.
and it's
Loads.
like, how do you feel about that when black men label?
Bye. That's what I would say.
Why? Yeah.
Boy, bye.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of intimidation, or because obviously black men have been raised by, well, not all of them, but some of them would have been raised by their mothers or just their fathers or just, So how do you feel if?
Oh, oh, you're just like my mum. You're just like my mum, you are. That's how my mum talks to me. So what does that mean about you?
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? So I've had that as well. I've had, yo, you remind me of my mother, you do. The way you talk, you're so aggressive. So that's mean you feel that way about your mother then?
That's true.
Well, I've even heard black men will date white women because of that. Because, they find black girls feisty or overbearing, too much to handle, they think they're better than everybody else, all these kind of negative connotations. I hear that from the black man.
I feel like that.
Please come in, Keely.
Like
Please come in, my girl.
You know what?
I feel like that's a form of self-hate in a way, because it's like you're not with the white woman because you want to be with her because she's a nice person or whatever you may have in common. It's you with her because you don't want the black woman. You don't want the black woman because she's feisty. You don't want the black woman because of how she has her hair. You don't like her because she's this, she's that. It's like, make sure you're actually going to date someone that you like for. Make sure you date someone for actually liking them, not because they're not like what you was gonna date, kind of thing.
Do you know what? I've just got to a point in my life. A few years ago, I would have argued with this back and forth all day long. I have just got to the point in my life where if that is how you feel, I don't want you anyway.
Yeah.
You're not for me. Go. What can you do?
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to argue back and forth with you. That's what you've got to say. In my head, I might say it out loud. More than likely, I probably will say it out loud. You're an idiot. And I don't want you anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. Where do you think it stems from? The stereotype.
It's definitely an institutionalized, systematic thing to try and keep us
grounded. Controlled.
Yeah, controlled. I wouldn't have said grounded because I associate grounded with something else, but definitely controlled. Yeah, definitely controlled.
I think, obviously, as you said, I think we don't actually know where it stems from. However, one thing that I can pinpoint is slavery. Do you know what I mean? Because of how they treated us during them times. So I feel like that's the only thing that I can think of where it comes from. The angry black woman.
I don't know if I would associate it with slavery.
In terms of
because I feel like slavery, they had us more like under control. We didn't want our babies sold off. Like because they did so much wicked things, we kind of more did what we was told because we wanted to keep our families together. Not because we can't fight or whatever, but because of the backlash. But I definitely do feel like it was something institutionalized and also to break up the black family. So like we was also talking about, if there's confrontation in the family household, the black man will be quick to call you angry and bitter. and then there won't be no accountability for, okay, even if I am angry and bitter about something, there's no accountability for what I am angry and bitter about. We're often unable to express the reason why we are angry or why we are bitter or why we are upset about whatever it is in the first place, because people like to shift the blame, and then we end up going round in circles, and we end up going back and forth, and then the family household splits up.
So would you say you've ever come across the stereotypical angry black woman?
No, because I wouldn't stereotype them as being angry.
Oh, you mean have I come across another woman as being...
stereotype?
No, do you mean like I perceive that woman to be a stereotypical angry black woman, or have I...
Yeah, more like
or
that.
do I... I thought she meant like, am I
like,
perceived as the stereotypical...
No, if you perceive somebody else as being...
You see how some people... I would never brand another black woman as an angry black woman.
But then again, I know where the other black woman's coming from. I can relate.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't
and that's why that's why it's so much more of a disrespect when someone in our own community calls us that. That's why I was so upset when that person called me that, because I was thinking, hang on, out of everybody, even the person who I was upset with never labelled me that. Someone from outside called me that didn't have anything to do with the situation, and that's what y'all coming to call me. I wasn't angry. I didn't shout. I didn't swear. I didn't go on with myself. I didn't stand up. I didn't go on with for anybody to turn around to try and put me into that category. So I thought it was pure disrespect and out of order.
Yeah, it is disrespectful.
Right, and you know who you are.
Okay. So do you think it has an impact on our mental health, being labelled the angry black woman? Because
yeah, I do.
Sorry. For example, like as I was saying, like in my old store that I've worked in, I wasn't called it all the time. It was only for like about a month or two. But imagine if I was being called it the whole time I was there.
Yeah,
like,
you're internalising.
Yeah,
soon you'll start believing the label. You get me? You'll go home, you start looking in the mirror thinking, am I really angry? You start asking your friends and your family members, when I talk, am I angry? Yeah. And then sometimes if you're not strong-willed or you're not strong-minded, you could take that to deep levels and start changing who you are.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about earlier on, that we'll start thinking, oh, I don't want to speak my mind and I don't want to express myself because I don't want to be labelled as this angry black woman. So then you start to change how you express yourself, and then because you don't know no other way of expressing yourself, you end up being quiet, and then you end up internalising things, and then you just end up closing yourself off.
Soon you won't even talk, because you're just going to think that everyone's just going to think.
Then next thing you know, you're going to have mental health and suffer with depression.
Don't come out your yard, can't go to work. You lose your confidence and your self-esteem. You know what I mean?
That's one thing that I would never allow, for someone to make me feel like I can't speak my mind.
And you go, girl. you know, honestly, you go. And I feel like that's the stance that everyone should take. I mean,
don't make anyone.
I'm guessing it's the same for Keely, but for me, like, no one can't tell me any different. Are you mad?
But it's
I will explain to you how I'm feeling. If you don't understand my reaction to it, then I can make you understand how I'm feeling.
But I also feel like it's important for the people that we're talking about that it has affected. Like, what's the message for them? Because obviously we're saying like that would never happen and whatever, but we don't know the situations and circumstances that a person that has been through to be closed off. And I would say, sis, be yourself. Be yourself, unapologetically, authentically, black, whether it be angry, whether it be frustrated, however you express yourself that way.
Simple basically.
So last question. Do historical factors have an influence in the way black people are perceived?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and definitely. Why? I think especially like if you talk about the civil rights movement in the US, I feel like that had a big... I feel like this is probably where some of these things stem from as well. Because you probably labelled a black man the same thing as well, angry black man. Angry black woman.
It's an angry black woman and aggressive black man.
You see?
Yeah.
So there you go.
And you know what? To touch on that, I feel like with the black man, it has a lot to do with their shade, because they perceive an aggressive black man is always dark skinned. Do you know what I mean? And then a light skinned man, he's just,
Black men have always had
Yeah.
a negative connotation.
Regardless,
Always
yeah.
the most likely ones to commit murder. Always the most likely ones to commit rape. When we
Yeah.
know statistics show
It's
that
not-
that it's not
yeah.
even that.
Exactly.
So the black man has always been labelled aggressive. You know what I mean?
Both genders, man, always labelled as aggressive.
But if we fit in with societal norms, we wouldn't be labelled as aggressive. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think it is because of our skin colour. Because if you read books on what societal norms are about, they'll say that the woman, not the black woman, talking women in general,
Okay.
should be, caring, shouldn't be aggressive, should
Nurturing.
carry themselves,
Yeah.
nurturing, carry themselves a certain way. But
That's
That
the
doesn't
westernized
relate-
expectation.
that doesn't relate to the black woman though.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
you need to bring culture into
Exactly.
this.
Exactly.
'Cause
100%.
yeah, you can't tarnish everyone with the same
And
brush.
then
I
what
always say
happens-
that, don't I? Tarnish
I
everyone
love
with the
that
same
word,
brush.
innit? Right, so what
I can't
happens
take it, you know.
Can I just touch on something quickly? I've seen this on social media a few times. It's like a meme or something saying, "Stop calling black women aggressive or something, whatever, when she calls you out of your place or something like
Yes.
that." Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
I think
I
it's
feel like
something
people
similar
expect
actually.
us
on
to
Twitter.
just take anything.
So
And
when
then
when she puts you in check, basically.
yeah, when she puts you in your
Yeah,
place,
tells you about
You're being
yourself.
aggressive.
yeah.
You're not just putting them in their place. You're also being aggressive
Exactly,
with it.
because
Yeah.
you put up with it too long. Like, you think that I'm just going
I've
to
had
take
enough.
everything and just not tell you about yourself.
I've
Like,
had enough. And there is, you know what? When you say that, there is so much that we do put up with.
yeah.
Because even in places that I've worked, the amount of time, listen, that side eye has saved me. The side eye saved me, thanks, Keely. That side eye.
Sometimes
You just hold your mouth and you just look at somebody and just give them the side eye. You say, you know what? Now I got time. Now I got breathe.
times where I've just
And
had to,
come
I've been
again.
on shift and I've been like,
Yeah.
Let
Not
me just-
today, Massa. Not
yeah,
today.
I'll just bite my tongue because I know I don't want to just go on a rant or a bit like, because I'll just get so angry.
And you'll get sacked.
But yeah, like I've just had to hold my breath, take a deep breath, and just hold my tongue and just be like, you know what, let me know. You know.
Well, you
just
shouldn't
talk
have to
yourself.
do that. You should be
shouldn't.
able to cool, calm, and collectively,
But you know
which
what
we
the
do,
thing is, that I'm not gonna lie. Like,
address it.
yeah, that's fine. Like, obviously, like I'll express myself, say what I want, whatever. But it's like, you know, when you just feel like I get really angry. Like I'm a hothead. But I don't get angry easily. So
And something.
I want to see Chanel angry.
Trust me. I'm waiting. You need to find something to write.
I need to see what's going on.
that's the thing. Like, I don't get angry easily. Like, so when people speak to me in a rude way, and other people are like, "You're gonna take
that, yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? It's whatever. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? So I'll just carry on. But it's like, if it hits me, I'm there like, okay.
They've got to poke and poke and poke and
Yeah,
poke
for me to
before.
get
Sometimes
angry.
that's worse though, because if small annoyances have to keep building up for that person to explode, sometimes that explode
Isn't
No.
the best explosion.
you don't want to be around
Get
that.
physical.
Yeah. It's next
Oh,
level.
I'm showing off my nails and they're not good, but I don't care. No, literally, the ingrows. I can't help it.
We're in lockdown.
With
you know.
my hands.
We're in lockdown.
I know, please, guys.
Quarantine nails.
Don't
is
watch
okay.
that. If you see when I'm picking up my
It's
cup, I'm like. I'm trying to hide the nail there. Yeah, then I start talking like, yeah. So what I'm saying is.
You just have to hold it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you have to hold it. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes holding it is not a bad thing. So I just want to put that out there for everyone. Sometimes holding it's not a bad thing, depending on the
What it is.
situation.
Pick your baton. Pick your baton.
And pick how you address it. I feel like sometimes you need to know how to articulate yourself properly.
100%.
You understand? Because it can, sometimes it will turn into a fight. I mean, I don't know if you watched previous episode, but me and Keely need to get into a fight. But no, like, big and serious, it is how you articulate yourself and how you come across to others. So I just want to put that out there, that you should think before you speak. Yes, I'm still learning that, but you should think before you speak.
I think that applies to everyone, really.
Oh yeah, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general.
But also at the same time, like, as much as it's important to be able to articulate yourself, sometimes what we tend to do is, you know what, I'm not going to speak now because now is not the time and now is not the place, and then there never becomes a time or a
Oh
place.
yeah. Oh, I hate that when you miss the
The
moment.
time's gone clean
Yeah.
by, and then next thing you know, you bring it up months later, and people
And
will
it's
be like,
pointless.
"Why are you bringing it up
That's
now for?
dead.
That means you've had that issue all that time."
Yeah.
Now you look like the person that's holding grudge and issue when you've got a problem.
And I hate that as well, you know, I hate when people harbour up feelings.
Exactly.
I hate that. Don't harbour
Yeah.
up the feelings and then wait till last minute.
Exactly.
I feel like
We had a meeting, let's talk now.
I feel like sometimes some black women can be like that though as well.
Yeah.
Hold things in that, you know, get to them, and then they'll tell you months down the line and you forget about it. They're like, oh, like sometimes.
Why do you think that is though then? Do you think it's because they're scared to speak up at that time, or because of the negative connotation that we're talking about?
I think sometimes it's
fear.
because of the
It can be
negative
both,
connotation, or they're not sure how the emotion's going to come out, so they don't want to explode, so
Yeah.
they hold it for now. Me, I will tell you today, I will tell you next week, I will tell you
I'd
next
rather
month,
get it out
and I will
now
tell you
while
next
it's
year.
fresh.
So yeah, but you might have heard it from me a good 6 times. In my case, it won't be. I'll be telling you in 6 months. I will be telling you now, and I might be
It's
telling you in
like
6
6
months. Yeah, depending on what it is. But
Oh
yeah,
God.
we've heard it multiple times.
Here we go. Yeah.
So, I think that's it for today's episode, ladies.
I really
Is there
enjoyed this
anything-
episode
yeah,
actually,
you know
to
what
be
I'm
honest
saying?
with you, because it's something that, you know, I feel like we can all relate to. We've all had someone refer to us as angry, so I have enjoyed this show actually.
Yeah. Anything do you have to say about the episode?
Her face says it was.
No, I feel like I just said, you know, just be authentically you. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't be afraid to express your emotions. And you know, and if you are a person that feels like you need to be able to control your emotions better, meditate.
Yeah, yeah, because that does you can find a balance through meditation. Definitely.
Yeah, meditate on it.
Yeah,
So.
I would say so. Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Oh,
ladies.
and karma's good.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying that sometimes if you feel like you might need to hold something down or hold something in, you know, sometimes you don't always have to react. And
Yeah.
the universe will deal with it.
Definitely.
So it might not be tomorrow when you want it to happen, as I'm kind of impatient, but it will happen. So meditate and karma's good.
Okay then. Thank you guys for watching another episode of More Than a Woman.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
More than a woman, yes I am. More than a woman.